All right, Washington fans. Monday Night Football, preseason game number 2. The world is watching. Maybe not the world. Maybe that's a stretch. The D.C. area, probably Cincy tonight. It is only preseason. But we have starters playing tonight. And that is going to be an opportunity for us to see some of our guys play, find out if the concerns about the offense come to fruition, or if it was just training camp stuff. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. What are we watching tonight? And I've got Sean, who's going to be able to join us today and talk about what we're watching for tonight at 8 p.m. Sean, thank you for joining.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I apologize for being a little late, but definitely happy to join. Hey, and I don't know. It's me. I know it's preseason, but I'm a little excited. We're gonna see some of the starters. We're gonna see, a little bit of the regular season. For now, we're not gonna see the plays. Everything's gonna be vanilla, but it's quite interesting. But I gotta be honest. If we're talking about who am I really looking at tonight, it's one man. We know the name McCaffrey. We know, obviously, the father and the brother, and even the sister, I've heard is a great athlete. So I've expected a little bit of something, and we have not gotten it. And now with the addition of the Debos, with seeing Noah Brown be back, Chris Moore coming in here and making himself known, you're getting buried on the depth chart, and that's something that I think they'll kind of move on to if you can't do more than one thing. And he's not doing special teams, so I'm really looking for him to kind of show up. I need him to kind of say, I need some, little, maybe being a little hot seat, a little fire behind the tail, so he's ready to go because, I'm hoping for him, but not looking good. But yeah, I'm interested in that tonight. What about yourself?
I love the idea about McCaffrey because, year 2, you expect a jump. And we have not been hearing anything about a jump. And you just don't know, is that just a training camp not doing it? And in the games will he come? But we knew he was raw. But by year 2, we need to start seeing contributions. We drafted you in the 3rd round. We need something from you.
Yeah.
I love your theme. So I'm going to stay on wide receivers. Yeah. And I am going to be watching to see if Ja'Cory Brooks starts to get snaps with Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
That is what I think, kind of talking about the Luke discussion. If he's in there catching passes from Jaden, that means they're testing him out. They're seeing about that rhythm that they've had in training camp. Versus if he's only catching passes from Josh Johnson and Sam Hartman, that doesn't mean he can't make the roster, but he's going to be a non-factor. And that's what I kind of want to see, because I don't think our 6 wide receivers are necessarily on this team right now. And I want to see is Ja'Cory going to be that 6 wide receiver? How injured is Noah Brown? Do we have to bring in somebody? So that's kind of what I'm looking to see. Is Brooks being featured with the starters getting some run, or is he just a backup?
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, between him and Jalen Lane, it's good to see that your young wide receivers are getting action, but if you see him with the ones, it's like, okay, we're going somewhere, especially with the absence of Terry McLaurin. And we won't see him tonight, so hopefully we'll see those guys come in. For me, you know what I love. I've been trying to give it to you and other people to talk about, so I don't seem like just a position homer. But I love my running backs. I love my backs, and that's something I'm really watching tonight. I want to see what these guys, who emerges. We obviously know about Bill and McNichols and all these guys trying to make a way. But now that we know B-Rob's not playing, and obviously we're going to talk about a little later the potential, the thought or, being shopped and every X, Y, and Z. So who's going to step up? Who's going to be that guy that's like, I could take this number 1 or 1A with Eckler role. You know what I mean? We know Eckler is great running back, but also where he really shines is out in space, in screens and in the flats and whatnot like that. So I'm really eager to see which running back kind of really takes advantage of their opportunity tonight with B-Rob and him not playing tonight.
I'm looking at the same position group. I want to see Kaz Allen playing. Sean, shout out. Yeah. He now wears number 22, so you know who I think of when I see 22 on the field.
Double deuce.
Right. And so the reason why I want to see him is the team has talked about wanting to be more explosive. Kaz Allen brings that to you. And now he does play a little bit of a role. We talked about this for the last 2 years. Could he be that Debo type player? Now we have Debo on our roster. So that could be a problem for him. But I saw him return kicks in the game against New England. He had some burst. I've heard Ben Standig talk about him with some speed, with the idea, does he bring something to the table that the team is lacking? And so I don't think we're going to see him playing, getting any handoffs from Jaden, but I'm curious to see, what do you see when Josh Johnson's out there, when Sam Hartman's out there? What does he show as a runner? Because can he prove himself to be helpful as a kick returner and take that away from Austin Eckler if, as we're seeing, Eckler may have a bigger role in the running game this season than we thought.
Exactly. And that's something that's also going to be key in all this. And I kind of mentioned this before. We'll get into the B-Rob conversation a little bit later. But we knew getting Eckler was great, and we all thought it was going to be that 1-2 punch. But then it makes you wonder, were they bringing Eckler to kind of, transition away from elsewhere? But we'll dive into a little bit of that. So I definitely think there should be a spotlight on the running back position tonight. Anybody else for you on offense?
Well, I don't have names, but I do have positions. We've kind of already talked about, though. It is the wide receivers because Terry's out. So who's going to step up?
Yeah.
And we've got guys like Chris Moore, like Michael Gallup, like KJ Osborne, who have been in the league for years.
Right.
Moore had 2 big drops for Sam Hartman against New England and derailed things. Are these veterans showing that they deserve a spot on this roster, or do we need to be looking at who gets cut?
Right. And I'm 100% with you. Obviously, I talked about McCaffrey early, but that is the reason why I mentioned McCaffrey, because of Osborne, because of Noah Brown, all these guys that will, I know Noah Brown's not playing, but all these wide receivers that are now on the depth chart, not everybody's going to make the squad. And even then, not everybody's going to get the ball, assuming that Terry gets back and you got Debo and everything like that. So, you got to show out. And that's definitely a position where it's like the more the merrier. You're excited to have all that many, but you're not going to keep all those guys. So this is your opportunity. This is the platform. Let's see what you got. Let's go over to the defense. Will, who you looking at tonight on defense?
You know what? I only learned this today. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are playing. So you know who I'm watching?
Oh, yeah.
Number 23, Trey Amos.
Come on.
He's going to get a chance to go up against a legit wide receiver. Yep. This is going to be a good test for him. I didn't think that going into our conversation, but when I read that, I went, oh, yeah, that gets the juices flowing.
Oh, yeah. I am excited to see that and go with it, and I'm going to check. I had thought somebody in my head, but then I didn't know if he's out. Jeremy Reeves, he's playing tonight, correct?
He is. Great.
Yes. And see, Jeremy Reeves obviously long been known as a special teams guy. He, in the 2020 year, he made the Pro Bowl, and there was that whole emotional scene with him and Tressway and Coach Rivera and everything like that. And long we thought about him as in just that role. But one thing we saw, albeit preseason, this guy's a thumper. This guy will come up and play run support, and he will drop the hammer on some guys. And it's kind of been noted that he's been playing a little more in the secondary. I want to see if he can move up in that role, if he can be more than just that gunner, that special teams guy, and somebody that can come in and try to, play maybe some safety, some nickel corner, so whatever, something to get in there and just have his play be like so much so that you don't want to take him off the field. I've always been in this guy's corner, and I'm kind of excited to see, can he because last week some of those hits kind of put me on notice. I sat back in my seat like, whoa, okay, oh, I like that. Oh, I see what you're coming with, and the fact that he's been with the team, he's played with us, man. That's somebody that my eyes are all on tonight.
I mean, ever since Revo picked off the former quarterback we had here that Jay Gruden liked when he played for the Eagles, ever since he picked off I'm already forgetting it, Nate Sudfeld in the game, the last game against Philly. I've been like, let's play this guy. Let's see what he's got out there. So I love it. I love it. The other position I'm going to look at is along the defensive line as a pass rusher. I'm looking at Jalen Holmes and Jacob Martin because Javonte Jean-Baptiste is not playing for a second game. He continues to be out injured. There may be a chance that he starts the season on injured reserve. And I really felt like the last two spots on the defensive line came between Jean-Baptiste, who they drafted, Jalen Holmes, and Jacob Martin. And these guys have an opportunity to prove themselves. Holmes has that versatility of playing D end and D tackle, and he showed out a little bit in small bursts last year. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, can they get noticed? Martin was someone that I didn't really think highly of when we signed him from Chicago in the offseason. Honestly, I've never heard of the guy before. But he's shown he's got some speed. And so if he can be a pass rush specialist, maybe spell Von Miller at times or get into that role a little bit, I just think it'll be interesting to kind of see how they do out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that. No, I like that. And for me, that is it. The D-line, how they've been operating, and also those backers. We're not going to see Wagner. I don't think we're going to see Luvu, right?
Let me look.
We might.
Luvu is in. Luvu's in. Von Miller is out, and Wagner's out.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. We'll bet. We're gonna see Luvu, so that's gonna be good then. But I want to see, just and mainly not even just from the backers, but from the entire defense. Look, I understand first games, preseason, whatever, but we got whooped. You know what I mean? It was 48-18, and it didn't even look like they were better as much as it looked like they showed up and we were back at the scrimmage or just going lackadaisical. And I need something from the entire defense. I need that pass rush to get in there. I need those linebackers shutting down, anything in the flats, but also helping with run support. And to your point, they're putting their main guys out there. That's showing that, hey, we need these guys to get practice, and they're not going to shy away from dominating. So if they get an opportunity to demolish you and get on it, they're going to do that. But you know what I mean? I need to see this defense show up because you got they've put 48 up on you. We'll fix the offensive problems, but they put 48 up on you. All right, we got to do better than that. Period. That you know what I mean?
Well, especially since the whole purpose of this defensive line was to get bigger, and that was going to help with our run game. I'm not surprised we don't have a whole lot of pass rush. When you're not playing Von Miller, you're not playing Luvu in the first game, you're not blitzing guys too often. I'm not surprised we didn't have a huge pass rush against New England, but they got gashed in the run game as well for chunk runs. And that was the part that I thought would be shored up a little bit more with these guys because I didn't think they get pushed around as much. So I'm with you. It would be interesting to see how they do in this game.
Yeah. We got to see. We have to see. Anybody else on defense for you? Or special teams?
No. The kicker. Let's not miss field goals.
Exactly. I feel like we've been here before the last couple years. Please, can we just get somebody that we can be consistent? So we'll definitely see. Real quick, we talked about, who needs to show. Some of the starters will be playing tonight, namely JD5. I believe Debo will be out there. You talked about Luvu. who are all the starters? Do you know? Or I know you sent me something with showing the starters that weren't playing. So who's going to be out and likely in tonight?
Well, it'd be probably easier to say who's not playing that we would be looking for. Laramie Tunsil and Zach Ertz on offense will not be in. Neither will be Brandon Coleman.
Okay.
All right. And then on defense, Wagner, Miller. That's about it. There are some backups. McGee's not playing. Javonte Jean-Baptiste we talked about, and Jonathan Jones. But other than that, people are going.
Everybody's in. Yeah.
So your starting corners are in.
So we're gonna. Yeah. So we're going to get an opportunity to look at some of these guys in action. And I'm excited about that to some degree, because obviously always have fingers crossed. You don't want anything to happen. But Jaden's playing. What are you looking for tonight? We know how great he is. Like, what do you expect to see? What do you think we'll get to see tonight?
Just get the ball out of your hands as quickly as possible. You got 2 seconds. If the play's not there, throw it out of bounds.
Go down.
And I think he understands that. And actually, honestly, watching more preseason games the last couple of years, the quarterbacks that is the whole point of having they're running quick offenses, quick passes, and then they're getting the starting quarterback out. And then they can go with longer developing routes. So I feel confident. I'm usually my heart's beating when we got our starters in there. But I think I'll be a little bit calmer unless there's some pass rush issues. Then I'll get nervous. Exactly.
Which, we say Tunsil's out and everything like that. But you already know I'm not going to sit here and say what I think when I think of starters playing in the preseason. But I am scarred from some years ago. I'm going to get through this game, and then I'll say it after the game because I'm not going to sit here and jinx that situation. But I feel the same way. I'm just kind of like, okay, quick pass, good. Okay, slide, get down. Okay, no, we're not running. No, you get that ball out of your hands. Do not get touched. I want your jersey to be so clean and crisp, just like as if you hadn't been out there, man. Like, I really do not want any of that. And but that's for the quarterback. Now you look at a Debo or Marshawn Lattimore or Lulu that's coming in. How long do you let them in? I mean, presumably with JD5, maybe a drive or two, get them in the flow just so they can kind of get used to it. But with some of those players on defense, and then obviously Debo on offense, how long do you guys you give them?
Like you just said, a drive or two, and nothing more than that. For some, now there's a few guys that I think it's good to keep in. I want to see Dietrich Wise playing. I want to see Johnny Newton and Javon Kinlaw playing alongside each other, along with Eddie Goldman in there. Like, I want to see those rotations. But some of those guys, right now with Terry not in there, Debo needs like a series or two, and then you got to go. You're our only wide receiving weapon right now. Plus, I'd rather, I'm excited to focus, throw the ball to Ben Sinnott instead. Let's kind of see what he can bring. Let's see what some of these other receivers can bring to the table. Lane, McCaffrey, and Brooks. So let's see them. I don't know if I need to see Amos out there too long and Lattimore. Same thing. If Cincy starts to sit their wide receivers, we can sit our starting corners and say let's get ready for week 1.
Right. Yeah. No need to keep them out there for that long, and especially JD5. Get him out as soon as you can get him out. Like, I don't need to see anything. I already know what I've seen from him. So, we'll see with that. So, So stay tuned. We will definitely be talking about this game. I'm going to go a little halftime and then post-game review, kind of seeing how long we play, how long we get there, and how long we get the starters out. But we need to take a quick breather, and we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors. And we are back. It is your boy Sean Spencer, and this is my guy Will Kramer from Washington Football Weekly, kind of previewing the Washington Commanders who play the Cincinnati Bengals tonight at FedEx Field. Will, the tickets they're affordable, they're cheap, man. They're cheap.
You going?
I thought about it, man. But a Monday night when I was in high school, man, let's go.
Night, no,
I know it.
Up late on Monday for preseason Monday Night Football.
You're right.
I'll join you at halftime. I'll say let's see how things are going, and then I'm going.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna sit this one out and just be, sit by the comfort of my in the comfort of my own home. But yeah, it's exciting to see. Glad to get into this. We talked about kind of the game, but there has been other news that has kind of uh, gotten out in the media. You guys shared it with me from X. B Rob. Apparently, the Commanders have been shopping B Rob, to a couple other teams, and the consensus is a lot of people are kind of feeling he's not going to be here, and then now he's not playing tonight. Will, talk to us about kind of what's going on and where do we go from here?
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise. Not going to say that I saw this coming.
Hmm.
I think you're seeing this for two reasons. One is the emergence of Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Yep.
But more importantly, it's the evolution of the offense. They're trying to get more explosive. And that is not Brian Robinson's style. And
Right.
they're looking for guys who can break it and be gone.
Yeah.
And I think what we're getting to is now that they've added guys like Debo, they've added a little bit more speed with Jalen Lane at receiver. They want to have some more explosive plays, and this is a guy that just doesn't fit what they're doing. And so now they're looking at, okay, we've got guys in-house now with the emergence of Bill that could take over some of what he does.
Yeah.
And they're just looking, I think, to say, well, what can we get for him then? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously this is my position that I've played, so it's extra close to my heart. But and you know how I get, and I was telling you guys in the chat, I gotta detach myself from the love that I have for these guys because when they're in our team, I'm like, oh, this is my guy. And then I always go back to when he came back against the Titans and came out to many men. Many, 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 many men wish death on me. Like when he came out to that after obviously dealing with the gunshots and everything that he had to deal with, I got a closeness to him. But I mean, this is kind of a business. And to your point, he has not been able to really complete a season. I mean, he's been injured each of the years. I don't believe he's cracked 1,000 yards. The explosion is the thing that I think you guys hit on before, and I think it's just it's a glaring hole. You can see like he can get out there and he runs hard. He's great around the goal line, but when he gets in the open field, I've talked to you about this last year. It almost looks like he runs back into contact. He's not trying to run away from somebody, and maybe it's because he knows he doesn't have that burst. So, at this point, let's. It's still for me a little bit. I don't want to see him go, but at the same time, I understand how this works. I think that's kind of one of the reasons why I feel like tonight is going to be really an interesting test and a display of like what is coming next. Who is going to be somebody that's going to step up if, in fact, this does go through? Because it still hasn't happened, but we know they're looking around.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I just don't know if a 6th or 7th round pick in return is worth it.
Right.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt hasn't played football in more than a year.
Yes. Right.
You're looking
Right.
at Austin Eckler's probably going to have to get more snaps. He was very effective last year when he played until he got hurt, until he got the second concussion and was out for an extended period of time. Now then behind him would be Bill, who hasn't played in more than a year. And he got dinged up in his first NFL preseason game on his shoulder,
Right.
And I know they love Jeremy McNichols. And Rodriguez has shown that he can be a thumper too. So there is and my guy Kaz Allen that I'm looking at here. But so they want to go by committee, but I just feel like I would rather see us towards the end of the season be focusing on Eckler and Bill.
Yeah.
And in the beginning parts of this season, be kind of letting B-Rob take some of those carries and let's ease these guys through a season.
Right.
So I'm surprised. And plus, unless this is the company line, and like they said, if it just got out, that means we've probably been shopping him for more than a week. But at the New England practices, offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury said B-Rob was running hard and efficient.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is a guy where practice doesn't show what he can do. And so you wonder, was he being told to say that because they're trying to shop him? Or my concern is, what if that's what he was showing out there? Because he knows he's got someone behind him who could take his spot. So now, like you said, he's not running back into contact. He's making extra yards where he can. So that's why I don't love this idea. I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah. And I, I mean, when you really look at it, I mean, the guy has been productive. He maybe has fumbled from here and then or whatever, but the guy has been efficient. He's been productive the entire time, and and I get it. We're trying to upgrade, but what at what cost? And to really get rid of him, at this point, and like you said, for a 6th or a 7th, if that's the case. I don't know. I just think we need to stop taking pieces away from what we have. I mean, obviously we're still dealing with the Terry situation. We need to stop taking pieces like dealing running backs away and all this stuff when we don't have the suitable replacement.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So look, ladies and gentlemen, we have got to get out of here. The game is on tonight. Bengals, Commanders. Definitely tune in. If you want to see any type of starters, tune in early because they will be hopefully out very early. So that means first quarter early. I don't need any of that extra second quarter, first half nonsense. No, get them out of here. So, but we are going to head out of here. So definitely stay tuned. We're coming back to you at halftime of the game, and then I'll be back with you at the end of the game. Tune into all the good stuff we got going. That's my guy over there, Will Kramer. It is your boy, Sean Spencer. We will see you next time. Peace, people.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders.